When St. Louis native Billy Davis Jr. told the audience at the Two Hill it was good to be home, he meant it.
Would you like to ride in my beautiful balloon?
In spite of achieving fame and fortune, first as 1/5 of the Fifth Dimension, then as a duo with wife Marilyn McCoo, Davis always enjoys visiting his hometown. Long before hits like Up, Up and Away went to the top of the charts, Davis loved to sing.
That's all I ever wanted to do was sing. I had another passion, and that was baseball. I was a good baseball player. I could have been like Ozzie Smith. You know, I was really good at baseball. But singing won out.
Billy Davis Jr. came into the world June 26, 1938. In a brood of 7 children, he was number 6. They were all taught a strong work ethic by their parents. Growing up, money was tight for the Davis family, so Billy and his brothers helped out in the coal and lumber business owned by their father and uncle. Davis was in high school when his dad was in an on-the-job accident that abruptly changed the teenager's life.
A double-blade axe came off the handle when one of the guys was chopping down a tree, and it just flew like a flying saucer, and it hit my father in the head, and by it spinning, it hit him across here, and it spun around and hit him in the back, came around the back, and it just almost like scalped him, really, but they had to put stitches in the front and the back. And then after that, he came down with arthritis.
To help ease the family's financial burden, Davis dropped out of the now closed Washington Technical High School in his junior year. He promptly went to work for a landscape company, got married at the tender age of 17 to a St. Louis girl, and formed a rhythm and blues group called the Emeralds. The latter gave Davis experience performing in small nightclubs. He also sang gospel with another group, and along with his father, he purchased a nightclub on Kings Highway called the Havana Club. Then, at the height of the Cold War, Davis was drafted and shipped off to Germany. There, he kept right on making music.
I had a major band in Nuremberg, Germany called the Kingsmen. We played all of the clubs, the officers' clubs, the enlisted men's clubs, the NCO clubs. I was able to play on the Strasse in some of the German clubs. Oh, I had a ball. I had a ball in Germany. When I got back from the service, I opened another club here. It was in the county. It was called the Oreo Bar. During that period, I was drinking a lot, so things wasn't going that hot. And my grandfather said, you know, if you're too good to be here. If you want to make it, you got to get out of St. Louis and go somewhere where they really doing it. Why don't you know somebody out in Hollywood? You know, and I did. I knew Lamont. Lamont was out there, who ended up being in the group.
Davis, who by now had split up with his wife Edna, packed his bags and headed for the West Coast. There he connected with former St. Louisans Lamont McLemore and Ronald Townsend. Although Davis had his heart set on a solo career, he agreed to sing with McLemore and Townsend until that big break. The men wanted to add a few female voices, and they found them in a school teacher and former beauty pageant contestant named Florence LaRue and a statuesque UCLA graduate who once performed with McLemore and sang backup for Ray Charles. This seems like a classic case of opposites attracting, am I right?
Exactly right, yeah.
It really is.
Marilyn McCoo came from an upper-middle-class Los Angeles family, the daughter of 2 physicians. But despite the differences in their educational and socioeconomic backgrounds, musical colleagues McCoo and Davis quickly became friends as well.
We started talking about life, and I used to pick Billy up and drive him to rehearsal because at the time he didn't have a car. And so I'd pick him up and we'd go to rehearsal and we'd just laugh all the way there and driving back, and I looked forward to our times together. I was not falling in love. I just thought he was a great guy. And the more he talked and the more we talked about male-female relationships, I thought, yeah, this guy's too good to be true. He's just saying all the things that women want to hear.
Well, that's true, too.
As the relationship progressed, so did their quintet. It was originally called the Versatiles, but that sounded so 1950s. A brainstorming session resulted in the name The Fifth Dimension. They initially performed in small LA clubs and recorded a couple of singles that went nowhere. Then in 1967, the group's cover of a song by the Mamas and the Papas, Go Where You Want to Go, soared to number 16 on the charts. Up, Up and Away soon followed. That song won Grammys for both The Fifth Dimension and songwriter Jimmy Webb, who composed a string of hits for the group. The successes led to bookings at big-time venues like Caesar's Palace, where they performed with Frank Sinatra. Here, Sinatra presented to Davis, McCoo, and the rest of the Fifth Dimension their first gold record for Stone Soul Picnic. After about 2 years with the Fifth Dimension, the friendship of Billy Davis Jr. and Marilyn McCoo turned serious. It took another 2 years for Davis to pop the question.
I was so scared because I hadn't seen any marriages work. My parents got divorced after 24 years. My godmother and her husband had gotten divorced. I mean, every marriage around me seemed to not work. And so when Billy starts talking about getting married, I thought, why are we going to mess up this good relationship we have?
Well, you know, on my side, don't forget my parents have been married for 68 years.
Well, they were married for 68 years.
They were married for 68 years, and so marriage on my side of the family were long lasting. All my sisters had been married for years, you know, and so we looked at it as a
lifetime
commitment,
yeah.
You know.
In 1969, they married and promised to stay that way until death. But their union with the Fifth Dimension was another story. They left the popular group after 10 years, a move that caused hard feelings among fellow members. As Davis and McCoo each began solo careers, they soon realized the potential damage long separations could have on their marriage. So they went to their record company with an idea.
We want to sing as a duo. And they said, okay, fine, you know. And so, thank God we did, because our first record out of the box was You Don't Have to Be a Star to Be in My Show.
Davis and McCoo have enjoyed a long marriage, a rarity in the entertainment industry. But it's been tested over the years by many challenges, from communication problems to Davis's former issues with drinking to his 1999 surgery for prostate cancer.
We actually did seek marriage counseling at one point in our marriage, and it was very helpful for both of us. When you start realizing that there's more than one way to look at a situation, that helped me tremendously. And then, of course, we have very strong faith, which we practice together, and that helps to keep our relationship very strong.
These days, Billy Davis Jr. and Marilyn McCoo appear not just on stage, but at church programs and various outreach events. And they advise other couples on the hard work and commitment it takes for a healthy, happy marriage.
People want to get married so badly that they don't want to talk about those issues that they are afraid may stop them from getting married. And yet that's what they need to do. They need to stop and not get married if these are areas that can't be resolved or at least discussed or addressed, and acknowledge that there are differences here before you get married.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And if anyone knows what they're talking about, it's that gregarious crooner from St. Louis and his classy LA lady. Life sounds so good for you guys.
We're blessed.
Well, we're blessed. Yeah.
We really are.